Welcome. Tonight's practice is inspired by sweet simplicity. The goal with this practice is for you to feel like you have the tools to do a little bit on your own every single night if you'd like, instead of having to dive into something deep. So we are going to simply need a mat, a couple bolsters if you have them, a couple blocks, and some blankets. If you have an eye pillow, great. If you have a scarf, that works, and a practice journal. So go ahead and meet me on your mat. So the idea is that you are able to keep your yoga practice simple. So this particular brand or evening is our Wednesday night wind down. So this is all about restoring your system, helping you feel deeply rested, helping you feel as though that your body, your mind, your mental, emotional state are all getting nourished. Now to do this, we are going to start with a pranayama, and then we're going to move into 3 restorative poses. All 3 of these poses are very simple, and you can do one pose at night before bed if you'd like, or sometime in the middle of the day if you have a space that you can go to for a little bit of quiet. You get to keep this really simple when you break it apart. Even one yoga pose, even one pranayama, even just 5 minutes is going to be deeply nourishing to your soul, to your system. And I just want to encourage you to feel like, okay, I've got this, I can do this. And you can always come into this area and ask questions and get a little more information on something that maybe felt like was open-ended versus, oh, I know what I need to do. All right, so let's come to a comfortable seat. You can sit in a chair, you can sit on the floor. I'll go ahead and drop to get comfortable. Lengthen up through the spine. I like to rock a little bit on my sit bones, come forward and back until I feel that I'm centered. The spine, again, nice and tall, slight chin tuck. So first we're just settling into our seat. You might feel that there is some restriction at first. Find the ease of the seat. And then once you've gotten settled, the pranayama that we're going to do is called Brahmari. It's the bee buzzing breath. It helps reduce the thinking mind, the anxious thoughts, the flowing, the constant flowing of thought. And it helps you get a little more settled within the body. All we need to do is take our index fingers, we have options here, and stick them inside the ear. Once you do, you'll feel a little bit of an echo. All we're doing is inhaling and humming. Closing the eyes and just allowing the sound to clear the head, to take away the ability to think and instead drop into the body. Now, some people like to just cover their, like use a little flap on the ear and cover it, keep it in. Some people like to put the finger, like the thumbs in, and then just rest the fingertips on the eyes. Whatever feels most comfortable to you, I would encourage you to try that. But we are going to simply do this for 6 rounds, right? So we'll inhale, hum, inhale, hum. As you hum, you're exhaling. You do that 6 times just to allow your system to get settled, to be here now. This practice can then be done on its own every morning upon waking, or maybe in the middle of the day, or in this case, before bed. All right, so go ahead and join me. Put your fingers wherever you want them inside the ear for laying on top. And let's go ahead and hum. allowing yourself to breathe normally here and just notice the changes of your energy, your mental, emotional state, your physical state, simply by the impact of the pranayama and the sound. Good. Up your chin just slightly and just set an intention for this practice to be simple. To simply relieve stress, simply leave you feeling more rested and restored. For you to be simply inspired to just do a little bit every day and keep it easy. Excellent. Deepen your breath in your belly, and we're going to move into our first restorative pose. We are going to use most of our props here. All right, so we're going to start by stacking our blocks. So I have two blocks. These are sort of heavier ones, which I like. And I'm going to put one, a shorter stack in front of a taller one. So the blocks are the same, but I just want it to feel really sturdy. So sometimes you might need to move them, you'll find out. Okay. Then I'm going to stack these blankets as well. Now, depending on your own body, depending on what you are after, you might want even more props. But again, we're going to keep it simple. If you didn't have all of these things, we'll just use extra cushions, use extra blankets, you'll use what you've got. Something that I always like to do, especially when I'm leaning against something, so we're going to have nice wide legs here. Toes are going to be facing the ceiling, but you're not going to work hard here. But you're going to come forward and rest your head. Now, if it's feeling like the nose is squished, always roll the blanket a little bit and top your forehead or add another blanket. If you want to keep your hands down, if that feels good, go ahead. Or if you have like another blanket or more cushion, you can rest your hands on those. But allow yourself to settle in. One other thing that I also really like, and it's going to be dependent on you, is putting a cushion or an extra blanket right where my belly is, just to bring the props even closer. Good. And then I'm going to set a timer, and we're going to just rest. The goal here is for you to allow yourself to be supported. So if you are doing this on your own, simply set a timer and just allow yourself to breathe, and just rest. Beginning to deepen your breath in your belly. And gently start to sit yourself back up. So you'll have all of your props in front of you, and you're going to start to move them off to the side so that you can set up for the mat. So that, again, is a great place to start when you're doing a restorative pose. You can always do a child's pose, restorative with a bolster down below. You can take any of the restorative poses that we do in our Wednesday night wind down series and use them one at a time. Okay, so just make it really easy. This next one is a supported recline pose. So what you're going to need is at least one bolster or a stack of blankets. So I have this larger bolster, which I'm going to lean against here. Then I'm going to lay on top of this. I'm going to allow my head to rest at the top. If for some reason my torso is very long, I might also need blankets above to support my head. I don't want my head to be hanging and my neck to be off. Okay. The next step is to have at least two blankets. So we're going to fold the blanket so that it's long so it can support your arm. So the whole arm really. Okay. So have it right next to your bolster. One on each side so that your arms can feel supported. You're getting a gentle opening through the chest, and then the arms get to relax. Then you can have a bolster or a rolled up blanket underneath the knees. And of course, if there's anything else that you want, if you want an eye pillow, if you want an extra blanket for your belly or a blanket to keep yourself covered, you can do that. I'm gonna go ahead and sit. Put your legs over your bolster, get them under your knees or on the blanket, however it works with you and what you've got available. And then arms. If for some reason you're noticing that your chin is popping up, just put a small blanket or even a hand towel underneath your head to just gently adjust so that your throat isn't so far open. Your head is good. Once you get here, allow yourself to settle in, make any small movements or adjustments so that you can be comfortable. And then see how much you can lean into these props. So go ahead and start settling in. If your mind starts to wander, as sometimes it does when we are looking to relax, we find that things can feel very heightened. I'd like to ask you to just focus on watching the rise and fall of your belly. Inhaling, feeling the rise and expansion of the belly in all directions. As you exhale, feeling the belly start to drop, deepen, and make its way towards the spine. If you notice that your low back is aching or you're finding there's anything, please make your way out of the pose and make an adjustment. If you need to even add a little stair step with a blanket that's next to the bolster so that you can adjust your seat against the bolster, that can always be beneficial as well. However, if none of that works and you're feeling some difficulty in the pose and it's painful, please come out of it. Try a decomposed child's pose, perhaps. Allow yourself to relax. Beginning to deepen your breath in the belly. Slowly start to wiggle the fingers until maybe remove an eye pillow or scarf away from the eyes or the forehead. You just start to feel a sense of light. When you're ready, gently roll over to one side, maybe rolling off the bolster a little bit, bring the knees up. Just allow yourself to rest on your side for a moment. Make yourself as comfortable as possible. So move any of the props out of the way if needed. Just taking a few more breaths to reconnect to this moment, to the here and now. And then gently starting to sit yourself up as you move the props off the blanket or your mat so that you can move into our final restorative pose for today. So our final restorative pose, you have two options. A similar pose to what we just did called Mountain Brook, which allows us to use a bolster underneath the knees. And a blanket folded like so, and in a line underneath your rib cage. Okay. So with Mountain Brook, you add one more blanket for underneath the ankles. So it has this little flow as if you were resting in a brook, just enjoying the flow of the water beneath you and the rocks beneath you. Okay? So it's this simple, right? And you lay down, and the trick here, if it feels like there's any trick with this one, is that the blanket, as you rest it underneath your rib cage, you want to make sure that as you bring your arms out, you might take that blanket and tuck it in a little bit so that it rests on your upper arm. And then allow yourself to start to melt into the floor. Taking your time, letting the release slowly happen. Bringing the awareness back to the rise and fall of the belly as you release tension through the body. Now, if for whatever reason this is not your favorite pose, another option that you have is you can do Stonehenge. Stonehenge will require 2 blocks that are stacked so towards the bottom of your mat and a bigger bolster. Now it could be round, it can be a rectangle like this. Either way works. The trick about getting Stonehenge to work is that you're going to get close to it. You're going to pick up your legs and then set your calves down. You're not going to throw them across. You'll pick them up and set them down. Otherwise, sometimes Stonehenge will collapse, which we don't. But this is just a nice way of relaxing the low back, relieving any tension there, and allowing yourself to be settled in a modified resting pose. So not Shavasana exactly, but very similar. And letting go. And in this final pose, after we've allowed ourselves to connect with it, we will move into a yoga nidra practice. So go ahead and pick an option. Again, these two can be done at home. You can hold them anywhere from 3 minutes to 15 or 20 minutes at a time. You just have to set a timer. So set yourself up, maybe add an eye pillow or cover your eyes with a scarf. You might want an extra blanket on your belly just to create a little more coziness. Remember, the idea here is for you to start to feel a deep sense of restoration, nourishment, that you are feeling that you are getting rejuvenated should feel mostly effortless. Now, as we start to get ourselves comfortable in whichever restorative pose we're going to end with today, whether it's the mountain brook or whether it is Stonehenge, I want to explain something to you. We're going to start with Shavasana. You're going to relax on your back, and then we're going to move into our Yoga Nidra. Now, many of you who have worked with me one-on-one or have taken my classes live, taking Yoga Nidra live, you know how much I love Yoga Nidra. But a few of you have not given yourself the space and the time to do it. Now, we can always have our excuses. It can even still be hard to get online, even pulling out our phone. Sometimes, let's say that we share a bed with a partner. We might not want to be listening to something with someone else around. Sometimes it can feel a little too vulnerable. But I want to get you excited about this practice and the potential in healing that Yoga Nidra or yogic sleep offers you, and how simple it really can be. Now, there are a bunch of Yoga Nidra practices in our classes. Many of these Wednesday night wind downs have them. We have some of them in our Sunday Self-Care Circle. And there's just a couple standalones as well that are very short, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, to help you and inspire you to take that nice rest time, to rejuvenate, to recharge, right? So let me just read a little bit as you start to find yourself on the floor. Allow the body to be heavy, breathe, watching the rise and fall of your belly, and just listen. Sleeping on the run. There are times in everyone's life when exhaustion carries the day. The need for sleep becomes virtually overwhelming, and to resist it is futile. At such times, a technique associated with Yoga Nidra, yoga sleep, can refresh the mind in a surprisingly short period of time. The purpose of this technique is to put both body and mind into a profound state of rest while remaining alert at a deeper level of consciousness. There is no special mantra to recite, no breathing exercise, other than relaxed breathing to practice. And no advanced asana or poses, right, to master. In fact, to all external appearances, the practice looks very much like napping. The difference between napping and yogic sleep, however, lies in what is happening deep within. In yogic sleep, attention is drawn to the heart center, and there you will become a quiet witness to the sleeping body and mind. At the onset of practice, you must determine how long you will sleep, perhaps 10 minutes. Your mind will then wake you when the time has elapsed. You will fully rest, unconcerned by any disturbing thought. So again, this simple practice of just allowing yourself to lie down as you are now, lying in a regular Shavasana position, or even leaning against a wall, having your legs out in front of you, and just allowing yourself to rest by simply allowing yourself to breathe and allowing your body to recharge. Simply watching the body rest. Now, we do take it to deeper levels when you have someone leading you in a practice, but I want you to be inspired to allow yourself to recharge in this way. That you don't need to sleep the way you're used to, and you can still be fully recharged after a little time. So Shavasana is always extremely important at the end of every practice. And Yoga Nidra is a wonderful practice to connect you deeply to your meditation, as well as to a deep sense of peace in a way that is very restorative. So, continuing to breathe as you lie there, watching the rise and fall of your belly. Now just have a sense that the body is releasing a little further into the floor. It is so relaxed, and you so completely feel a sense of support that you are allowing every muscle to release. A little more, and a little more, until you notice that it would take so much effort to even open your eyes. If you let go, given into a deep sense of release, setting aside having to do, setting aside what is next, just simply letting yourself release further into the floor as though you're allowed to just melt, releasing any responsibility and duties, just simply being now. Breathe and rest. move into our yoga nidra practice. It's okay if you feel a little far away. There's nothing you need to do. There's nothing you need to accomplish. Your goal is simply to be, allowing your body to recharge and allowing your system to deeply relax. Simply follow my voice. And if you fall asleep, it means your body needs extra rest. Allow that to be okay. Otherwise, allow yourself to connect to a state of calm and meditation by leaning into the quiet and resting in the gaps between any thoughts. Bring your attention and awareness to the point between your eyebrows. See a rose at the point between the eyebrows, opening up, bearing and shining the petals. Bring your attention to the throat. Relax the body. Rest your attention at the throat. The right shoulder. See a rose opening at the right shoulder. Right elbow. Right wrist. Bring awareness to the tip of the right thumb. See a small rose opening at the tip of your right thumb. Relax. Tip of the right index finger. Middle finger. Ring finger. Little finger. Palm of the hand. Back of the hand. Right wrist. Right elbow. Rose at the right shoulder blade. Throat center. Left shoulder joint. A rose at the left shoulder joint. Relax the body. Left elbow. Left wrist. Tip of the left thumb. See a small rose at the tip of the left thumb. Left index finger. Left middle finger. Left ring finger, small rose. Little finger. Palm of the left hand. Back of the hand. Left wrist. Left elbow. Left shoulder. Left. Reminding yourself there's nothing that needs to accomplish, nothing that needs to be done, but simply relax and rest. Simply allow yourself this time. Bring your awareness to your right eyebrow, left ear, right eyelid, left nostril, chin, bridge of the nose, right cheek, tongue, left eye, both eyelashes, left eyebrow, upper lip, lower teeth, your jaw, your jaw, tip of the nose, point between the eyebrows, your hairline, your forehead, left temple, right temple, back of the head, shoulder blades, the whole right arm, the torso. Bring awareness to the torso. Front of the body, the back body touching the floor. Heart center, navel, right leg, left foot, hands, legs, the whole body. relax the whole body. And beginning to deepen your breath in your belly. And back to yourself, just slowly. As you start to deepen your breath in your belly, you're going to give yourself the option of doing the next piece, our pranayama and our meditation, lying down and benefiting from a deeper sense of rest as you continue on the floor. Or if you feel like you'd like to sit up in a more meditative space with the spine nice and tall, you can roll over to your right side. Gently push yourself up to a comfortable seat. Keeping your eyes either closed or downcast, maybe bringing your blankets around you. And just allowing yourself to stay in that nice, quiet space behind the closed eyes. As I said, you'll benefit from this practice lying down or sitting up. And so I'm going to give you the option. If you're doing this practice before bed, you might like to stay lying now so that you can ease right into sleep. If you'd like to do this practice at another time of day, you might want to feel a little more alert and sit up in a meditative seat. I'm going to begin our pranayama by focusing on the inhale through the nostrils. As you gently inhale through the nostrils, feel the breath move through each nostril till it reaches the point at the third eye. Visualize the prana coming to the point at the third eye, and then exhale, feeling the prana exit through each nostril, making an inverted V. Now gently add a visualization of a white light on the inhale. So you're seeing a white light inhale through each nostril, making that inverted V. And as you exhale, that white light, an inverted V. Maybe seeing the light expand gently away from the body, gently drawing the prana and the light in. Relax the shoulders, relax the tongue, the jaw. Allow the breath to move freely on your inhale and exhale. Allow each breath to go unbroken in a circular pattern. You inhale the same length as the exhale. Relaxing the body, if there's any tension through the torso as you're sitting up or lying there. Allow your body the structure with ease. And gently let the pranayama fall away. As you start to see the the crown of the head, the scalp, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the chin, the entire head, bathing in white light. As you notice the head bathing in white light, connect to a sense of healing, a sense of ease, relaxation, rejuvenation. And welcoming in clarity and peace. As you breathe and be, meditate on this white healing light that is surrounding the head, and gently moving down through the neck and the shoulders, and through the arms. Allowing healing, rejuvenation, as well as clarity of mind. Welcome in this healing white light. Feel the body physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically bathing in this white light, allowing you to feel refreshed, renewed. deepen your breath in your belly. Gently allowing the meditation to relax and release away as you bring your attention and awareness to the body, to your breath. Bringing your hands together, keeping your eyes closed, warm the hands up, then bring them over the closed eyes, heating the eyes, feeling that nourishing warmth through the palm. And then gently, slowly draw the hands down to over the throat. May you always speak clearly. Allow yourself to speak your truth. Bring your hands to your heart. May your heart always be full of love, compassion, and acceptance first for yourself, so you can inspire love, compassion, and acceptance in others. Take a moment to tuck your chin and thank yourself for making time for you, making time for yoga. I want to take one more moment or two just to invite you to break apart these practices, make them work for you. Allow your yoga and your yoga practice to come together daily, whether it's in small tidbits or whether you do an entire session at a time. Please allow yourself the 5 minutes, the 10 minutes, the 20 minutes, whatever you have available, but allow yourself to give yourself this gift each and every day to recharge, to rejuvenate, and to connect to that deeper, meaningful place that allows you an awareness, not just of yourself, but of those around you. Keeps you feeling balanced, feeling whole, and being able to stay calm when things feel chaotic. If you have any questions about how to take any of these practices and split them up, or if there's any questions about how to do a specific restorative pose, or how to take one of these meditations and allow yourself to take a good 5 minutes and allow that to be enough, please write that question below in the comment, or you're always allowed to direct message me. But please know that everyone else benefits from your questions, and everyone benefits from learning more about each other so that we can continue to come together in community. So take a few minutes if you have them and jot a few notes in your practice journal about this practice, maybe about how you felt, maybe about what you were able to connect to during these practices, and maybe about what you're inspired to do. Thank you so much for sharing your practice. And as always, if you have any feedback, any questions, or any special requests, please let me know.